Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now I will say, 2024 was a good year for new flashlights and the trend seems to have continued through 2025, and with Wuben we have a new one called the PL01. Small, pocketable, just enough lumens for kind of everyday use. Now, a bit of a caveat with this one. We talk about lumens and it's great, it's awesome having a flashlight that's got 3000 lumens because you can see for miles away. Generally, do you need to see miles away? And a lot of instances, especially everyday EDC lights, you really don't. And I think that's the beauty of EDC flashlights like this. So yes, less talking from me. Let's turn the camera around and take a closer look at the Wuben PL01. Now a quick kind of unboxing. I'll just put the light to one side for a second. So here is the outer of the box. There's a few of the headline points on here. So the maximum brightness is 650 lumens, maximum distance 110 meters, and you can drop this from about 2 meters. There you've got the light. Again, some more details on the side here which we will cover, and then on the back, if I can keep this in focus. Come on, have we got this in focus? I hope, let's pretend that it is. If you want to pause this, you can see some of the things that we are going to cover today. Now, when you open this up, it opens up. Here is where the torch, the flashlight would have been. And then on the right-hand side here, you have a box of gubbins. So there's a couple of O-rings in here, just in case you need to replace those, which I generally say Wuben are really good with their O-rings. I've never had to replace, well, in fact, I say in the 7 years that I've doing this, I've never really had to replace an O-ring on a light anyway. It comes with a small lanyard and it comes with a USB Type-C charging cable. So if you were wondering at this point, yes, this is rechargeable. In fact, let's have a look at this bit first. So when you unscrew the tail cap here, I will say the wind has just picked up ever so slightly. So if you do hear a bit of wind noise in the background, I do apologise about that. So coming out from here, hopefully you'll be able to see the battery in here, which is a 600 milliamp hour 1088 or 8800 battery. Now the beauty with this battery is, or at least some of you may see this as a disadvantage, some of you may see this as an advantage. So to charge this, there is no charging point on the body of the actual light itself. If you want to hot swap batteries, then you can still hot swap batteries. I'd recommend picking up a second battery if it's important that you can be able to swap the batteries easily. You know, you go through them quite quickly. Pick up a second one of these. It isn't a proprietary battery either. I've tested, well, I only have one other of these, and I've tested the other 108800 battery in here and it works perfectly. But there is your charging port. Now when you're charging it, there's a little indicator on that shows that it's charging, and you know when it's done then you can take it out and then you put it in. So it goes in with the positive end first here, screws in, and there you have, so there is that's the tail switch. That's the tail switch end that screws onto this. As far as dust and water rating is concerned, it is IP68, so really you don't need to concern yourself. The 6 being the dust, they have tested for dust and it's the highest that you can get on consumer electronics, and 8 being the water rating, which is again the highest that you can get for consumer electronics as well. So yeah, it's really good as far as that's concerned. Now I don't usually do the battery first, it seems a bit weird having done that bit first, but just to go into some other details. As far as the size of this is concerned, from the end here, which is where you have the light, to the tail clicker, it comes in at 134.9. It's all about the 0.1 less than 135 centimeters. That'd be huge. 135 millimeters. Yeah, so it's 134.9 millimeters, and the width of this comes in at 15. Now I will say that is the widest part here. So the head of the actual light here, and the tail end where the clicker screws onto, this is the widest point, and that's 15 millimeters. It does go down ever so slightly here. You can see that the shaft does get it kind of gets smaller here. I'm guessing that maybe drops maybe a millimeter. No, it's probably 2 millimeters off it, but that's just a pure guess. But its widest is 15 millimeters. It's constructed like most of these lights are, from a very tough, durable aluminium, which means as far as the weight is concerned, if you're measuring it without the battery, it's 27.7 grams. And if you're concerned about the weight with the battery, which, I mean, let's face it, we're always going to keep a battery in here. I don't think anybody's going to walk around and go, oh yeah, it's only 27 grams. Oh, can you turn it on? No, let me just put the battery in first. But yeah, so with the battery in here, it comes in at 45 grams, which again, it's tiny. With this having a pen style flashlight to it, I've got some biros that are heavier than this because they're all kind of made from stainless steel, so yeah, it fits into your pocket perfectly. This is it uses a hard anodized coating on here. I will have to double check. So this is the black version. I'm not sure if there are any in some other colours. However, I will check on the manufacturer's website, and I'll leave a link, or I'll leave a note here if there are some other colours. But I do like the black finish to this. As far as looking down the tail end, hopefully you'll see in there that there is a very flat reflector in there. There is a clear lens, and then you can see the LED unit that's in there. It is just a single LED unit. As far as the candela on this, the maximum candela when this is on its high setting is 3000 CDs, which is okay. I mean, you're not going to be able to see a mile away, which the maximum throw, which is your kind of laboratory tested maximum throw with this, is 110 meters. I'm not that bothered by that, because this is the type of light that I've dropped my keys down the back of the sofa and I need to be able to find something. A friend at work's dropped something somewhere and it's in a darkened room and I'm trying to find it. I'm just walking the dog through the woods and I just need to be able to see 10 meters max ahead of me so I can see what the dog's doing if he's caught a squirrel or something stupid. That's what this is for. It's perfect for EDC lights. Especially as well, I'd say if you're a tradie, I know a lot of tradies carry these style lights mainly because of how useful it is to be able to kind of get it into small little crevices again to be able to find things. It's just absolutely perfect for that. And it really doesn't need anything more than 110 meters. Now the modes on here, oh sorry, the last thing I forgot to mention, there is a pocket clip. So if you like to clip things to your pockets, then you can have that. You can remove this though, so it is one of those ones that it's just a pressure clip. So if you wanted to take this off because you just don't use it, then yeah, take it off. The UI on this is super simple. There are 3 modes. You have moon, low, medium and high. And to turn it on, it's a simple click for on, simple click for off. If you want to then, when it's on, I think at the moment we're on high, if you want to then cycle through the modes, it's a half depress, and there isn't like a wall like you get with some others, but hopefully you'll be able to hear as I'm clicking this. If I bring it up here, it's got a really nice tactile mechanical click to it. So although there isn't a wall, kind of a halfway step when you're pressing it, it's actually easy to be able to find where it is. So if I turn this back on, I think we're now on low. So let's go around. So medium, high. Right, so here's the moonlight mode, which is very difficult to see. The moonlight mode on this at this point when we're in the light is 1 lumen. I can do a half press, which takes us on to low, which is 50 lumens, another half press, which is medium, which is 150 lumens, and then another half press which takes us on to high, which is 650 lumens. You get 650 lumens worth of light for about a minute. So I just realized that the white exposure is kind of messing it up, but yeah, 650 lumens for about a minute or so, and then after that it'll drop down to 150 lumens, sorry, and it'll stay on that for roughly an hour before you run out of light from a full battery charge. Having had it on there on high, the light end, the LED end, it has got warm. I certainly wouldn't say it's one of those lights. I mean, it's only 650 lumens. It's not going to burn a hole in your pocket, and certainly in the time that I've just been talking about that, I'd say it's about 1/10 of the temperature that it was before. So as far as taking this out of your pocket and being concerned about putting it back into your pocket once it's been used for a minute on its 650 lumens, you certainly don't need to worry about the heat that comes out from this at all. Now let's fast forward. We'll go down to the fishing pond and let's see how this works in the dark. Now I've been down to the pond and it's quite a light night tonight, so I thought I'd come back home and we just have a look indoors where it's, you know, it's a lot darker. Main reason for that is the moonlight mode on this. As I mentioned before, the moonlight mode on this is 1 lumen. So just looking down here at Norman, Norman is my dog. It's toys. Being able to see in a very dark room like this, 1 lumen does a great job. I swear by these modes, they're really useful if you just need to find something without maybe, I don't know, you've lost your keys but you don't want to wake your wife while you're trying to find the keys. That's why I think these moonlight modes are awesome. So half a press will then take it up to 50 lumens, which is low. So you can see here now, being able to see little flowers down there, and the flowers my daughters have made. A lot easier. So low mode is 50 lumens. Another half press will then take it up to medium, which is 150 lumens. So now you can see if I do one of these umbrella lights where we shine it at the roof there, it's very easy to be able to see. And as you usually do, so 45 degrees to the left, 45 degrees to the right. You can see that there is a hot spot, warm spot on this as I move it around like that. It's quite large, but I think with this not being a reasonably deep reflector, it's, you know, it does what it needs to. So that's medium, 150 lumens, and then I can do another long half press. Sorry, this bumps it up to 600 lumens. 650 lumens, fills the room. A lot more here. Now it will stay on this for roughly a minute, and then after a minute, because it gets warm, it will then go back down to 150 lumens. But as I mentioned before, I don't think it's massively hot. Yeah, it's not something that you'll be scolding yourself with. And then another half press takes us back down to moon. So we got moon, low, medium, and then high, and then back round again to low. So there you have it, the PL01 from Wuben. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of these pen style lights for good reason, and I can see why a lot of tradies kind of like these lights as well. I suppose if you take a step back, there's a lot of really useful and kind of powerful for their size AAA flashlights, AAA battery cell flashlights, or even AA battery cell flashlights, and they're great. They're nice and small and compact, and they pretty much fit into anything. But when you then bump it up to that next level of just adding that extra length to it so that you can fit the equivalent of 2 AAA batteries like you get with this, or some of the other larger ones where you can fit the equivalent of 2 AA cell batteries into them, you still get that small form factor. And what I mean by that is, like I mentioned, you can slip this into your pocket, but even pocket slips like this, the Platy from Maxpedition. Sorry, I was just struggling to get that in for a second. These fit perfectly into these. Even just on the length of this, it's exactly the same length for these, and it's generally what you find with a lot of these style lights. They're all a similar style length, which is kind of around that 13 centimeters. And just being able to have that extra little bit so that you can get into spaces. But I suppose the important part is, apart from this leaf that's trying to photobomb for a second, is that they still take up roughly the same space as a single AAA light or a single AA light. But because of that extra length, it just makes it easier to be able to slip it in and take it out of your pocket. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. I mean, I don't generally have a Moorlander stamp of approval, but if I did, this would be another one that I think should definitely deserve the more of a stamp of approval. Now, full disclosure, this was sent to me from Wuben. I say this a lot, and I hope this doesn't come across as non-genuine every single time, but the relationship that I have and I've developed with Wuben over the years is they just want me to make some good, honest content, and hopefully that's what you've got here today. They didn't pay me to review this overly kindly. They just sent me the light and said, Randy, if you want to make some content on that, that would be awesome. We'd appreciate it. So again, hopefully that's what we've got here today. Now I'll leave some of Wuben's links below so that you can see more of the PL01 or the other flashlights that they do. In fact, I've got another couple of really nice ones that arrived the other day which I'll be testing out, and there will be some more content coming out on those soon. So yes, those links will be below in the description. I'll leave some of my social media links. I'm forgetting how to talk for a second now. Social media links will be below as well, so you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel, which is Moorlander Tactical, where we look at more kind of tactical natured stuff. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Style light that's really quite nice. I'm really quite impressed with this. Now, how do you say something without it sounding patronising? Because Wuben's a decent company. They're not like just some Tom, Dick or Harry that's just started making lights, and I hate it when I sound patronising. I blame the patriarchy. I always blame the patriarchy. Or new flashlights coming from different companies, and we have a new one from Wuben with I think that was better. That was less patronising. So there you have it, the Wuben PL01, a small, easily pocketable flashlight. The more of a fan of these pen style lights. Taking a step back, that was a big sigh for a big boy then, wasn't it? Start that again, and less of the sighing like somebody big sighing Jesse. Get out my face, you frickin' frick. So there you have it, the PL01 from Wuben. I was going to do Big Sigh again, then again. Why? Have a word with yourself, youth. Jesus. I filmed 4 shocker plus 1. That's a weird... anyway, 4 pieces of content today. So I'm not sure when this is coming out. It might come out on a Wednesday. Actually, I think this will come out on a Wednesday. I think it will actually, yeah. Pretty sure about that. Anyway, whatever day it is, I hope you're all having a good day, and see you all soon.